Hi guys, right, today I'm going to show you how to use the database in 3D DJ, and we'll just start it up. Now anybody who hasn't seen the other videos, this is a marvellous DJ system. It's got to be the best one out there. I must have tried 30 or 40 different ones before I got to this one. And this will give you the full experience of a DJ system. You can use it on live gigs, you can use it for home projects, mixing music, mixing tracks together. It's a fantastic app to use. Has got a few little issues, but they are being sorted out. I'm helping the developer, like other people, with other issues that it's got. For instance, volume leveling, beats per minute being shown up on the tracks and such like. But this is a ready to go app. These are extras that I've asked to be sorted out. I'm going to show you today how to use it using copyright free music. Okay. So I'll give you a rough layout. I've done it in my other videos, but in case you just hit on this video, we'll start off with a quick run through of what this app is capable of. Now, both decks are identical to each other. You've got deck 1 and deck 2. At the top you see it showing null, which means there is no track loaded onto the deck. Below that you have in and out. This is a looping system where it will record so many seconds of the record that you're playing, or beats that you're playing rather. As you can see, they've got 8, 4, 2, 1, and you've got right up to 16 beats per minute. I think I'm saying that correctly. And it will repeat it, so you can actually use it to, supposing you're doing some talking on an intro and you have a track which is got a drum beat at the beginning of it, you can actually extend that drum beat and you will not hear the join at all, and you can have that going in the background while you're talking. And then when you're finally ready to mix the record in, you can then hit the out button, reloop exit, and it will carry on playing and nobody will hear the join or the finish. So excellent. There is another DJ system called Virtual DJ, which is on a PC, that has exactly the same thing, and this works just as well. Right, now just below where it's got the numbers and the in out buttons, you've got reloop exit, which I've just told you about. You have a dialed out icon, which is cross two arrows crossing each other. That means that it will play a list of records, but it will play them in any order, no fixed order. It will just play them at random. Okay, if you have that lit up. You have the one lit next to it, which I've got lit at the moment. It will play them in the list in order, one after the other, but you must have that lit up for that to work. Otherwise it will not play them one after the other. Now it will play them one after the other even if you haven't got the auto fade on, but it will play them on the one deck only, and there will be a gap between each track. It will not mix them. Okay, now that goes for both decks, and I will show you as we go along what happens. There are certain settings you have to have on before it will automatically mix them together. Okay, right, next to that you've got pitch control, and you have pitch bend, so you can actually bend the pitch slightly so that it will fit the next record, but without too much notice when you're actually blending the two tracks together. You have key lock, which I'm moving up and down here. It's very accurate. So There you go. You can move that and down. And if you press tempo reset, which is the bottom one, which I've just hit now, it will adjust the tempo to its original speed. Okay. You've also got key lock, and if you hit that and it lights up, that will stop it from accidentally going out of sync. Okay, or stop the speed from adjusting automatically. All right. Fully to the left, you have hot cues. There are 4 hot cue buttons. Now, that is 4 hot cues for each track you load. So, if you have, say, a 4 mix track, and you want to put gaps in between each track, you can do that, and it will start at whatever one you hit. Okay, it'll always go back. And even if you unload the track, it will remember it. So even if you load it 3 months' time onto the deck, it will remember those hot cues and it will load them automatically, which is a fantastic idea. You have a set button to set the tracks up. You also have a delete button. You must have that on to delete the hot cue. If you don't have that on, it will not delete them. Okay. Next to that you have 2 arrow buttons, one left, one right. That will go up and down the playlist. If you press the left one, it will go up the list. If you press the right one, it will go down the list. Okay. Below that you have your cue stop buttons, and below that you have your play pause. Right, now the cue stop button, if you play a track and you press that, if you've got a hot cue set up, it will pop it into the position you stopped it at. Okay. And if you press play pause, it will pause at the position you paused it at. Press it again, it will start playing from that position. Okay. Right, below that, sorry, not below that, slightly to the right of that, you'll see FX sampler. Now if you tap that, you have a sampler, which has got various samples. Now, the one thing I haven't asked the developer to do would be great if you could record your own samples, like your own, DJ samples. If you wanted to say do a jingle or something, that would be a really useful function. But he's got enough on his plate at the moment, so I'm not going to. I'm not going to give him more to do. But I'll play them for you. Okay. There we go. Yeah, that's one. And you can multi-play, as you saw there. You can play more than one sample at a time. Punch, gunshot, and they're very realistic as well. Laser, okay. You can edit them if you want to, move them around. Also, there are 3 types. There's essentials. I'll do that again. Got 808 samples, so you've got a set of drums. Oh, it didn't come up very loud. That's just me. Let me turn the volume up a bit. Oh, there you go. I've got the volume down. Sorry. Got an individual volume control, which you can operate. There you go. Okay, so that works very well. And we've also got rise and drop. So obviously they're great, you can mix them between tracks. Okay, right, switch that off. Okay, right, if we come into the middle of the centre console, you have right at the very top you have two round circles. One is like scanning round. That's your playlist. You then have graphic equalizer, which comes up rather beautifully, which you can set to flat. You can also, there are various different play modes for each deck, that is, by the way. Okay, I tend to use it in flat mode because I've actually got a graphic equalizer actually in my tablet, so I tend to use that more if I need to. That works for both decks, by the way. Okay, you can turn them on and off just by tapping. Tap it again, it'll go off. Okay, and hit that little can again, it'll go down. I mean, it's lovely, beautiful action. Every action that this DJ system does is really nicely done. Right now, I'll show you the playlist or wait list. And now at the moment it's got nothing in it. Across the top, you see there on furthest to the left, deck 1, you've got a looks like a floppy disk. That's to save the playlist. And you have A to Z, which means you can run the list in any order. You can have it from from 1 to whatever, or it will do it the other way around. Next to that you have a little bit of a gap, and you've got star, which is your favourites or top rated songs. Next to that you have this one there with the 3 little lines with the 2 little arrows. You can actually select all the tracks. Now there is a reason why you use that, and I will show you later. Now it's identical on both decks, okay? So for the moment we'll come out of there. Right, now on the other side of where the graphic equalizer is, you have another button which isn't flashing, and this is your albums and such like. And my telly has just decided to start up, which is move that out of the way for a minute. Right. Now, as you can see, there's tabs across the top. You have album, artists, folders, composers, genres, playlists, songs, and search engine. The search engine is very good. Provided you put your tracks into your database correctly, you will not have a problem. Okay, now you see these discs in front of you, and you've got Charge, Jive. These are old style music with quick step, and it lists all the tracks on that particular folder. And as I move the arm down, you can see them all listed there. How many tracks there? 32 tracks in that particular one. Okay. Now, if I move along, there you go. I've got my 70s there. You can title whatever titles you make the folders, it will come up in this. So as you can see, I've got 1970, 72. 1971, 1970, 71, 72, 73, and it all goes in order, as you can see. If I click on one of those, it'll open the album up. I call them albums, but they're sort of homemade albums, if you like. Okay. Alright. Now, when you click on a track, there are 2 or 3 ways it can play the track. If I hit the 3 little dots on the end of each track, if you can see them there on the right, if I hit that, little sub menu will come up, and it will give you an option of what deck you want to load that album on, or that track on rather, not that album. You've got deck 1 lit up, and you've got deck 2 or both tracks. Now the 1 and 2, where it's showing 1 and 2 there, is useful if you want to split the whole album, or in my case the whole folder, between the 2 decks. And depending on how many tracks you've got in there, it will divide them up pretty evenly. Obviously, if you've got more than 1 track, one of the decks will have more than 1 track, more than say 20. It'll have 21. If there's 41 tracks, it will have 21 in one and 20 in the other. All right. Now you can either add at the top, there's the submenu, add to queue, and it will start playing immediately. If you do, that will do the whole album. Sorry, that will do that track. Okay. There's so many options on here, it's difficult to tell you about them all. You do have to do a lot of learning on this yourself. But because I've done it on this particular track, it will play it. If I play this track right, I can't, because this is non-copyright. So what we'll do is we'll find a non-copyright piece of music, alright? So we'll go back, okay? You use your back button, and it's gone back, alright? Right, now what we'll do is we'll find now I've got a load of tracks in here. It's a non-copyright. Isn't it marvellous when you're listening to something? You think my cool track, there you go. Right, so I'll click on that. Okay. Right, non-copyright music, okay. Right, now if I hit that, right, now I can just play it. Now, if I come out of there, it's now playing it on deck 2. I'll press stop, it will clear the track. Now as you can see, where it shows the name of the track, there's also a waveform there, which gives you a good idea of what the volume is going to be like. It's pretty loud on that one, as you can see. It also gives you an indication of drops in the track. It's quite useful for mixing. If you're going to mix with another track, you can use that to use it as a drop to mix from one track to the other. So it's quite useful, that. It usually loads on the track within about 15 seconds of the track loading on the deck, so it's pretty quick. Alright, so press play. Now obviously if you hit the track anywhere, and if you pause it, it will pause in that position. Alright, you can move through the track, so if you're using the headphones, now there is adjustment for that. If I adjust that, you can actually adjust what speed it zooms through the track at. So if you set that at 8, you're going to go through much faster. Also go backwards. Okay, so that's ideal for queuing. Now that works same for both decks. Okay. Now, if I'll show you now that is now in the playlist. As you can see, it's there. No copyright music. It's now in that list for that deck. Okay, and it will only play on that deck. It will not play on the other one. You can move it, but to be able to do that, you need to hit this button here. And you can then drag it and drop it into deck 1. Okay, that will now load on deck 1. So if you hit that, you could load it onto deck 1. Now the only reason it's not on there is because in the settings you can change the way the action. So action now playing. If you hit the track, it will play immediately. In the browser, you've got show options. I've got it set to show options. Now, if you were making up, say, a playlist, you were doing a gig and you wanted to make a playlist up, so you wanted to skip through the tracks quickly and load them into a list, you can actually change that to play. Okay. Believe me, you don't want that setting on when you're playing a live gig, alright? It'll cause you problems, alright? So then come out of there, alright? Okay. Now if we go back on call tracks. Right. Now if we find some more copyright free music, alright? And copyright. If I hit that, it will play immediately. Now once I know that I like that particular track and I'm going to have that in my list, I can then load it onto particular playlist. So if I want it on, say, deck 2, I can either load it straight onto deck, which I've just done. Alright, so if I come out of there and show you. Yeah, it's now on there. Or if I want to, I can actually put it into the queue, so I can add it to the queue. If I go back, in there, now it's been added to the queue. That one there, see? Now because I've got it switched on, see, it's now playing automatically. It's right, it's me trying to knock the volume down. It's now playing automatically because I've got it set to that. But if I go back and set that adjustment back again, right, now playing, change that to load on deck. Okay, right, take that back a bit. Put that back again. Right, now if I touch on this, it will only load it onto the deck. But what you've got to remember is that if the deck is playing, it will load that track and it will kill the track that's playing. Alright, so you just must make note of what deck is playing at the time. Okay, so we're coming out of there. Alright, so it's very important that you notice what deck is playing at the time. Alright, so if we hit that, that has now gone to deck 1 because it's on deck 1. Alright, there we go. It's now mixed to it automatically. Okay, right. So, if I show you the genres again, right, so you have albums, artists. Now depending on how many artists you have in your database, it will take time to load them. I've got you know, well over 40,000 tracks in this tablet of mine, so it will take time to load them. Not too long, but long enough. And also this is one of the few DJ apps that actually works off an SD card, so that's rather excellent as well. Then you've got composers. Now as you see, some of them haven't got the artwork going onto the discs. That's an issue that I've spoken to the developer about, and he is dealing with it. We don't quite know why that happens yet, but no doubt you'll find out the reason. Then you have genres. So you've got techno. Now this is another thing. Now I found this with all players. Some of them, I've got lots of techno tracks in there, I've got to tell you, and there is more than 2 in here. But for some reason the system does not pick them up. I don't know what it classes. I don't know what it needs to know to be able to load that into techno folder, so I don't quite know what that's about. Some it will. A trance. Yeah, they've got a load in trance. Yeah, so it's loaded 99 in trance. Again, I know I've got more than that, but it's loaded 99. It looks like it's loaded just the one album by the look of it. You've got vocal jazz. There you go. Again, I've got far more than 13. So, again, I'm not quite sure what the issue is with that. You've got playlists. Now, if you make your own playlist up, this is where they'll be. So if you make a playlist up and you want to save it for that night, the night you're doing your gig, it will save it here. Also, it has the star rating. You know, I showed you the star or favourites. The star rating, they're kept here. Okay, you see them there. All right. You've got recently added. So if you've added any tracks, it will list them there. All right. Now I've just added an album which I made up, Crystal Castles, a great band I might add. They do a lot of electronic music, so if you're into that, they're fantastic. I actually found them by accident. Yeah. Anyway, we're getting off subject a little bit. There's 50 tracks there. All right. Also, now I'm not quite sure why it's doing this. You've got Future Trance. Which is one of the albums I've got on there. I don't quite why it's loaded as a playlist, because I never made it as a playlist, so I don't know. Yeah, there are a few little issues, like Connie Francis. I don't know why it's done that either. So it's got some way to go. There's 100 hip hop, nothing in it. But I'm working with a developer to sort these little problems out. But if you do a playlist, it will load it in here and it will bring up all your playlists, okay? You've got songs. Now this will take a while because it's going to load every song that I've got in my database. So it will take a while before it comes up. So this is not an ideal tab to hit when you're in the middle of a gig and somebody asks you for a song. As you can see, it's taking a while. Right, okay, it's loaded. As I say, I've got over 40,000 in here, so that was pretty quick. Okay, so got quite a lot in here. Alright. Now hold a minute, what's going on? Go back, there we go. You can just go on and on. It's just, you know, I mean, you could be there forever. Alright, then you've got search. And your search bar will come up, and so will your keyboard. So if you type in ABBA, right, they will come up, okay? So you've got ABBA Gold, alright? And anything else that more or less will start with A will come up there, alright? Now again, ABBA Gold, I named that folder, and that has got all the tracks in it. For some reason, it is loaded only when it says there's only one track in there, but I know that for a fact. It's not true. And yet, if I hit this one, it loads 6 tracks. If I go here, 5 tracks. So that's something that needs looking at. You know, ABBA Gold, and it'll bring them all up. There you go. So there's all the tracks. I'm not quite sure again why it does that. But, okay, yeah, they are issues, but they're not massively, you know, they're not going to put you off really. They're things you get used to. But as I say, the developer is working on it. Okay. We've got ABBA, and it's showing up the individual tracks here. I Have a Dream, Chiquita, Super Trooper and all that. Again, I can't play them obviously because they're copyright. Alright. So yeah, so the search engine works well, but again it does have a few little issues for some reason. So I always tend to use folders, and it works perfectly well for me. Alright. Okay, what other things we've got here? Right, as you can see, these are all my folders that I've done. Got carpenters, click on there, it'll bring them up. They're pretty quick. Again, it's missing the album art for some reason. Chart 2016, all the tracks are there, and yet it loads the art on the disc for some reason there, but not on the actual disc on the outside. I don't quite know why that is. But these are minor mishaps. On my disco funk, move up and down the list. Alright. Okay, so if you were going to make a playlist, for instance, right, what we'll do is we'll go back, we'll go forward to my cool tracks, because they're copyright. Alright. So background music. Alright, now find something that we can play. Right, if I hit the track, it will play it immediately. Okay, as I say, you can then load that onto either on the deck directly or to the queue. So if I want that on deck 1 queue, I just hit that button and it will load it onto that queue. And there it is. Okay, alright. So you can set up a whole list like that for the evening. Alright. Okay, right, come out of there. So Michael tracks, go back in there. A little bit. Okay. So you can find your. I'm trying to find copyright-free music that I can play. Oh, there you go. And it'll play right now. When you've got the auto fade on, it will take a while to go from one track to the other. So what I suggest you do is come out of there, switch off the auto DJ, and it will load the tracks immediately, so you can skip through the list very quickly. Okay, which I shall demonstrate. Alright, so there you go.
I've been okay, yeah. I've been okay, I've been alright. I've been messing around with this girl for a minute. She just came down in the summer for a visit. We just
You can skip through your tracks. Now, supposing you wanted to load this whole album, okay? Right, I will show you. What you do, you come out to your wait list, alright? If you, in the middle of the track, press and hold it. Sorry, I misled you there, I do apologise. If you tap on the little three buttons at the side, you can remove it from the queue. That works for both sides, okay? Right, so the list is now clear, as you can see. Alright. If you tap the star, it will now go back. Alright. As I say, a lot of this is through user use. You need to use this software to get used to it yourself. I can only give you an idea of how it works. I've had to learn this all myself, because there is no instruction manual for this DJ system, because it would be, you know, probably 20 or 30 pages thick if they'd made an album for it, or made an instruction album. So, right, so, supposing you want to load this album, okay, 137 songs. and you knew that all the records on here were exactly what you wanted. If you go back, there are 3 little buttons in a little orange circle there at the bottom of my call tracks here. I hit that, the submenu will come up. Gives you the option to load them all onto deck 1 or deck 2, or it will split them between both decks evenly. Okay. Now if you hit, as you see, you've got play, add queue, play, add queue, play next, shuffle and add to queue, shuffle, add to playlist, view album, share and search. Okay. Now we want to add them to the queue. In fact, we want to add them to both queues. Okay. Now if I touch on that add to queue, it will split them evenly between both decks. Okay. Now if we go back, there they are. So it's evened them out as best as it can. I think there are 68 on that side. Go back down on this one. And 69 on that one. Okay guys, well this video has gone on long enough. It's well over half an hour long. So this is part 1 of a multi-part instruction video for 3D DJ, and part 2 will be along shortly, so keep your eyes out for it. Don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell. So we'll see you all again soon. Hope you enjoyed the video. Take care. Bye.